What's good, y'all? Elite Live Streams. We back with another one. How's everybody doing out there? I hope you guys missed me. It's been a minute, but your boy been working. You know, we've been handling business, doing what we gotta do. But we back in the stew, man. We back. We handling business, as you can see. New setup. We switching things up. It's a new year. Happy New Year to everybody out there. Make sure you guys are tuned in, locked in. Make sure you're liking and subscribing because we're growing over here, man. We still trying to get 1,000 subs, man. So make sure you guys are locked in. 1,000 subs. Once we get 1,000, bro, it's another level. You know what I'm saying? But we almost there, man. We're halfway there. So please make sure you guys stay locked in with your boy because we stay with some hot topics, man. And salute to Ant CEO for this one. He put this together on one of his live streams. You know, salute to the brother. And I thought it was an interesting topic because it kind of is touching on like a topic that I wanted to speak on as well, just with what's going on with the whole Doechii situation and Glasses Malone, you know what I'm saying, Aiden Ross and all those guys. And I felt like this one kind of encapsulated like what we're starting to see right now. Hold on, let me fix my collar, you know what I'm saying, make sure my shit's straight. But I think it encapsulates kind of what we've been seeing. I wanted to speak on it, man, because of course y'all know we out here on the West Coast, you know what I'm saying, Long Beach representers. So this is something that, you know, I've been seeing for a long time. It's been a lot of shucking and jiving going on out here in these streets. A lot of people, you know, aligning themselves with people who don't have any backbone or spine, you know, who don't stand for anything. And I'm glad that now we're starting to see a level of people who are starting to, you know, have something to say about that, you know what I mean? And they have a problem with it. And I love that part because I have a major problem as well with what's going on. And salute to, you know, everybody who's been standing on business and people who have been calling this out, you know what I'm saying? But I think it's important, you know, for us to, you know, get the conversation going. And I thought this would be a good reaction video to, you know, give to, you know, this commentary because clearly I'm out here on the West Coast, you know what I'm saying? And so from my perspective, like I can give a direct, you feel me, a direct opinion about what I see in my own experiences and what I see out here in LA and clearly what I've been seeing on the internet, you know what I'm saying? Of course, you know, back in the day, I was in the music industry. So now, you know, you transition that into, you know, content creation and, you know, still doing music and stuff like that. But it's definitely, you know, we've shifted now the ideology towards, you know, updating, streaming, you know what I'm saying, podcasting, vlogs, you feel me? That's kind of the lane we're in right now. But a lot of that you're starting to see as well with a lot of people who have gotten into that lane and they're doing a lot of things to, you know, make sure that themselves are, you know, aligned, right, with the people who are gonna, you know, give them the views and aligning themselves with people who, you know, don't really stand for anything, like I said. And so now, you know, we're starting to see a lot of people calling it out. So I'm gonna bring up this video and CEO, salute to Ant, you know what I'm saying? But we gonna chop it up and react to, you know, his, you know, own perspective about the biggest self-hating Black Americans are in LA. All right, that's what you know the video is saying. All right,
the most self-hating, Sambo-ish sellout Blacks in America are in Los Angeles, California. This is a fact. But when you redirect the conversation to the Black gangs, oh man, they take it to a whole nother level. Like they take the coonery to the next level.
All right. So, I mean, of course, you know, we already know what the Black on Black crime is out here. You feel me? Gang members are rampant. You feel me? In Los Angeles, growing up, you know, here, that's just a part of the culture. That's a part of, you know, the vernacular. There's a lot of gang activity that you have to navigate through, especially as a young Black American on the West Coast, right? It's integral in the DNA and the fabric of what was lost when a lot of the Black Panther groups were disbanded after the FBI, right? I already talked about this on the channel, just how, you know, integral it was not only on, you know, the northern part of California, but as well on the West Coast. And so now we're starting to see the seedings of that, right? After, you know, the Black Panthers were broken up, what happens? The gangs start blowing up here on the West Coast, right? Very early on in the 70s. A lot of people don't know that, but that was a faction of it, right? Was because a lot of those gang members who didn't have anywhere to go, right? Because they wanted to be a part of something, the Black Panther movement left that void. And so many of those young brothers ended up creating gangs right here in Los Angeles, right? So naturally, right now, that's where it is, where you see the most black on black crime is from Los Angeles gangs. And that's just a fact. You know what I'm saying? We see it every day still, you know, it's still going up.
Don't believe me? Well, look at this.
I'm in cell like 4 at the time. So, you know, I see niggas, I'm banging on everything. Only people I'm not banging on is white boys and Mexicans. You feel me? They not my people.
We appreciate it.
You know?
Thank you very much.
And listen, now be integral in understanding that a guy like Adam 22, he plays into this a lot, right? He likes to use a lot of these, you know, race soldiers who, you know what I'm saying, are used as operatives within our community to be propped up and looked at as entertainment, right? It's all content, right? But over here, I always speak on the propaganda element and the social conditioning part that happens when you're looking at media in general, right? Sure, yes, you just scroll past, you may see, you know, some no jumper, you know, person who, you know, may not even know really. He may be a local person, but in reality, what that's doing is it's conditioning the watchers and the people who are not from Los Angeles to be able to look at this and say, oh, look at these savages, look at what they do, and look how they attack one another. And like he mentioned, they don't have no smoke for the Mexicans or the white folks, right? And that's a big problem, right? That's the biggest problem that I always have, right? Is the fact that, like, y'all, we can have so much smoke for one another, but when it comes to the ones that you're supposed to have smoke for, right? The white supremacist structure that we live up under in the United States, nobody got no smoke for that, right? Everybody wants to be careful about how they move when they talk about the authorities, right? When they talk about, you know, the 3-letter groups, everyone wants to move very strategically, right? But if it's a dude around the corner, you ready to crash out. And that's a problem. You feel me? That's something that, you know, is integral, and it's something that's very wrong with a lot of black folks who deal with those self-hate issues, specifically in the communities that actually get, you know, the worst of it, right? Which is the impoverished, the gang communities, those that are, you know, ridden down by drugs and all types of very, very illicit activities. You feel me? Growing up in Long Beach, you know what I mean? You see all type of stuff, right? And it's unfortunate because a lot of the kids who got caught up in a lot of this, you know what I'm saying, were based in those communities, and it sucks, man.
It's regular that a nigga I'ma bang on everything black that I see.
Well, that's just one person. Just because one person says that doesn't mean that, well, look at this.
But what about the Serenos? They're pretty tough, aren't they?
Yeah, we fuck with our Mexicans though. Hood, hell yeah. Like, we used to beef with the Mexicans, but they cool with us. Like,
now, this is a part of it as well, right? Like, we've seen, you know, at least some little tricklings now of the factions of the black and brown relations that go on in, you know, the West Coast, right? Specifically in California, right? A lot of the politics are different depending on where you at, right? Up north, the politics are a little bit different when it comes to Latino and black relations. But down here, you know what I'm saying, in Southern California, you know what I'm saying, specifically in Los Angeles County, there is a lot of overlap where a lot of communities are right next to each other, black and brown communities, right? And most times, if it's not good, it's very bad. You feel me? And that's what a lot of people deal with, specifically in Long Beach. I can admit to this. There is a very, very big tension between Black Americans and Hispanics here in Long Beach. It's been happening for a long time. But the faction of it is, a lot of times, the direction is more so, hey, we're going to attack somebody who's our own rather than the ones who have smoke for us and who actually are running us out of certain communities, right? which has been happening for a very long time in Long Beach. You know what I'm saying?
No, they good. They good peoples.
What about the Aryan Brotherhood?
They cool. They do tattoos and shit sometimes, so we be in there with them.
Like, that is really how they are. I'll never forget when I first got out here within the first few days. Obviously, I'm curious about LA because I don't know about LA. Therefore, I'm gonna want to take a walk. And in the midst of taking this walk, I go to a park where it's hundreds
Calvin, thank you for the $10. I appreciate you, fam.
of people. And while I'm at this park walking through it, a black SUV pulls up to the side of me talking about where you from, and it's full of Negroids. Now, of course,
Now, listen, man, you know, everybody's experience is different, right? A lot of people get banged on. A lot of different scenarios happen out here. You feel me? And a lot of people be having to deal with that. Of course, you know, the politics are the politics, right? But he ain't lying. A lot of this stuff that be happening is a lot of, you know, ignorance. A lot of people have to deal with this. And unfortunately, like I said, the smoke isn't distributed how I would like it to be, right? Specifically, the fact that, hey, man, if y'all got smoke for all these people, can we please have smoke for somebody else, specifically those who actually have beef with us, instead of we're going to be here playing games, right? We're going to be here trying to create, right, a certain narrative that, okay, sure, you know what I'm saying? We have, like he said, we'll have smoke for somebody who look like me rather than the real people who have smoke. Man, George Zimmerman's still walking around here, y'all. George Zimmerman is still walking around here. He was selling the merchandise from his altercation with Trayvon Martin, man. Just a despicable human being, still here. But yet, y'all can't go 2 seconds without tripping on somebody who got a different color on than you. Somebody walking around the neighborhood who has no smoke at all.
told them I'm from out of state, and they drove off. But afterwards, I thought about it like, damn, I'm the only black person out here. Why me? It's all of these Mexicans, all of these white folks, and you want to bang on me. That's just how they are. It's how they operate.
How do y'all feel about this? I'm not from LA. I've only been to LA one time, which was recently. But I don't think that this is specific to LA. I think this is specific to a lot of other places. I think it's probably just more prominent in LA, but I mean,
and that's true. You know what I'm saying? I think it's just, you know, gang culture in general, the glorification of gang culture, the glorification of drill. You feel me? Music that is impressionable on young minds. It's the entire, you know, entity of what we see right now culturally that is being pushed, right? A lot of people are so quick to be able to hop on one another, right? Being able to crash out, right? As being, you know, actually elevated, right? If you are the person who crashes out the quickest, right, you're considered somebody to not be messed with, right? But in reality, that shows no self-control at all. And mind you, like he said, it's a trigger when it's somebody who look like you, right? When it's somebody who looks like you, there's a trigger in your mind to trip out, right? To crash out. But if it's anybody else, right, you're thinking differently, right? You want to be careful about how you move, right? You don't want to do too much. And that'd be my problem. Like, if you're going to have smoke, make sure it's smoke for everybody. Don't just have, you feel me, classified smoke. I have smoke for this person, and then the other person I don't have smoke for. Like, nah, we ain't finna be doing that, y'all. You got to have the same smoke for everybody. Because right now, especially in the culture, that's why I said it's funny that we're starting to see now this whole, oh, the party died, whatever. No, the party hasn't died. We just tired of the BS. And if you're constantly glorifying the BS, we're going to gatekeep that. And I love the fact that even if you looked at the video and you watched in the comments, people are talking about, nah, we gatekeeping in 2026. That's facts. Enough with the passing of narratives that's fake narratives, and people are trying to put that on Black Americans. Like, nah, man, this is enough. Like, we tired of the goofy stuff. We tired of y'all glorifying Black on Black crime. We're tired of y'all monetizing Black death. You feel me? Enough with that shit.
I think we don't talk about this enough. The biggest in the Black community are the street niggas. Let's just talk about it. Let's talk about it. The biggest cause in the black community are the street niggas. Do y'all think the biggest cause is the dudes that sit on the internet and talk? No, the biggest cause are the street niggas. The dudes that take a person to them that look like them own life over nothing.
Listen, man, this is a real conversation that needs to start being had, not only in the black community, but in all communities. Like the loser element of people who have no self-control, right? The glorification of things that are negatively affecting our community. And as men, us not speaking out against that, right? That's important. You feel me? Because you can already see, like I said, they're talking about the party died. No, the consciousness has been raised. We're starting to understand now that enough is enough. A lot of us have already known this, right? A lot of us have been fighting the good fight for a minute, but it's dope now that more people are starting to wake up, right? And more people are starting to come to the reality, right, of the BS that's going on and the fact that it's being marketed to us every single day, right? The fact that we are sitting here, you feel me, as Black Americans having to hold the brunt of all the crime and all the BS that goes on when it's a very small faction of us. And most times it's not even those who are specifically of the Black American lineage either, right? Cosplaying, right? People who are, you know, a part of the community, melanated people, but they are not Black Americans. And so naturally, now Black Americans have separated ourselves, right? And we are now starting to say, hey, man, if you want to be a part of this community, you have to respect our community. You have to respect the people in our community. And you also have to be able to come in here with a certain level of decorum that isn't detrimental to the youth, right? Because that's what this has been doing for a long time. The music, you feel me? The culture, especially, like I said, especially here on the West Coast, gang culture is a fabric of how we live out here. We all know this, right? But the key is the fact that it separated a lot of Black American youths, okay? Putting a flag behind their head or on their waist, you feel me? To be able to hold loyalty to something that will never hold it back towards them. And so we started to see the seedings now of that, where it has gotten so out of control, right? We've lost so many great people behind gang violence. Black people killing other Black people, right? Or unaliving. I'm sorry, you know, on YouTube, they be playing, you know, with that. But we lost a lot of good ones because of this crap, man. And I'm tired of it. So I completely agree with Ant when he says that, you know, it needs to be a standard now. We got to raise the consciousness.
Because I'm just angry today. So I'm about to go kill another Black person. Them is the most negative people of the community that we don't call out enough. Let's talk about it. Why would we ever act like that's not like the biggest, most negative, most degenerate part of the community? But we don't call it out enough. I'm not saying we don't call out like things like crime enough. What I'm saying is we don't, when we think about like, we think of Stephen A. Smith. We think of Sheriff Clark. We think of, some people will say Ben Carson. We think of, I don't know, people that just smile and chill for the white man. Sure. I'm not disagreeing with that. Jesse Lee Peterson, not disagreeing with that. But let's be honest. Are they worse or are these street dudes worse?
I feel like it's a two wings on the same bird, right? It all works in conjunction with white supremacy, right? Whether it's on the far end of the spectrum, like you said, tap dancing, doing whatever you have to do to appease the white power structure. And then on the back end, it's no care or responsibility for Black life, right? Having no value of Black life, right? Seeing a Black person as your enemy, right? And so both of those things working together. And then on top of that, you feel me, everything else that has been thrown as obstacles in the, you know, the forefront, right, of what we're seeing right now to separate. That's what we're seeing right now is a lot of what's happening, of course, is what we see today, a very, very destroyed Black culture, specifically, you know what I mean, rampant with gang activity. You know what I'm saying?
That's going around toting guns infiltrating the community, selling drugs, not taking care of their kids, unaliving each other. And they be in their early 20s, most of them. Is that not the biggest form of anti-blackness you can perpetuate? Is operating in the streets and looking at yourself as your own enemy? Is that not the biggest form of self-hatred and coonery? I'm curious.
I mean, he ain't lying. It's definitely a big faction of that. And that's why, you know, right now we're starting to see people who are openly disrespecting black people in front of black people. And those said black people are doing nothing to check that behavior, right? Because so many people have realized that, hey, man, you could just disrespect black people. Ain't nothing going to happen. Ain't going to be no consequences. Nobody's going to stand up to them. Nobody's going to go out here and cancel whatever they got going on. And there should be consequences for that, right? There should be consequences for you disrespecting black people. There should be consequences for you talking crazy, calling people the N-word to their face and thinking that that's okay. I have a problem with that, sir. You feel me? And the fact that there are black people who are around this behavior and let it happen, that's a part of it. You feel me? And that's why we're going to talk about that Glasses Malone situation in a little bit after this, because it plays right into what I'm talking about.
And then you won't bang on nobody else but your own people. You ain't doing nothing to these Mexicans. You ain't doing nothing to these white boys. And I'm not saying you should do anything to anybody, so don't get it twisted. Don't nobody take my words and try to flip it and say, I said do something to somebody. I'm not saying do nothing to nobody. I ain't causing no criminality for nothing. I don't want nobody to get hurt. I don't care what you look like or where you're from. I don't want nothing to happen to nobody. But what I am saying is the same energy is not given towards these other people. You give the energy to yourself. Like people can take out Tupac, people can take out Biggie, people can take out Pop Smoke, people can take out Nipsey Hussle.
Yeah, and these are all rappers who are, you know, essentially unalived right here in the West Coast. Okay. And so that's what I'm saying. Like it's a different faction of people here, right? Who play a certain type of code and rule set. And it isn't necessarily based in what you would think as far as like unity. It's all about what they have, what politics they subscribe to. And then as well, if you fall within that, there's no remorse given. You feel me? And unfortunately, a lot of, you know, rappers and, you know, figures in general have lost their lives behind what goes on here in the politics aspect of it, right? The politics are absolutely insane. Like the people have seen so many times, right? How many people have lost their lives because they were here and they didn't take it, you know, as serious as they should be, right? Making sure that you have to, you know, conceal your location and all type of stuff. That's just honestly ridiculous that you would even have to do that, right? Because you should be safe around your people, right? But that's just not the reality of the world. And that's a part of why I'm really enjoying the fact that people are really holding a lot of these people accountable who are making music that has been detrimental to our community. I'm very proud to see that people are taking an initiative to not just go with the grain and calling out the BS now because it's necessary. You feel me? Like we need to make sure that we hold in a line on that.
Right? We can keep going. I don't know how many rappers, PNB Rock, how many rappers, Black American rappers or black rappers didn't just die. I don't know. But 6ix9ine still walking around. George Zimmerman still walking around.
Told y'all, man.
Some of the most disrespectful people, the most anti-black people on this earth, still walking around. I'm not saying do anything to anybody. I don't want nobody to die or get harmed in no type of violence or anything. But you like think about who you doing it to and who you talking about. Y'all take out Pop Smoke, but you take out like 6ix9ine. I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's the social conditioning that happened to, you know, a lot of black people in a very covert way. You know what I'm saying? It was a psyop that I think it really, really created a way for white supremacy to be able to still have its own hold on the community by being able to create more division and more subsets within the unity of our communities, right? And so now we're starting to see the full scope of that, right? Where people are going around, you know what I'm saying? Basically having no remorse for somebody who looks like them, or no remorse for somebody who grew up in the same neighborhoods, who went to the same schools. A lot of these people grew up in a lot of the same communities. Just being able to become at a certain age and then become enemies based on what? You guys living on a different side of the street. It's heinous and ridiculous, but that's as well a part of the construct that, you know, white supremacy needed to be able to separate the unity of Black Americans, right? You create gangs, you create impoverished neighborhoods, drugs, alcohol, drug dealing, money. It's what you get, man.
I don't understand. New York is an immigrant capital. Yeah, true. They cowards with other races. Facts. Black street dudes is worse in LA. They have no smoke for Mexicans. All the smoke for Black folks who don't even gangbang. Exactly, because they just be bored. I remember when the elders felt protected because of the street dudes. It's the opposite now. Yeah, wow. Somebody said Dolph. Dolph, another one. They allow snitching more nowadays than they did back in the days. Because it ain't no loyalty. What you loyal for? Loyal to what? Ain't no.
No, that's facts, man. And that's why it's like, from my perspective, like I've seen now how we've gotten to the point where people are now in this space where they took it from the streets and now it's on the internet, right? Now everybody's on the internet now, right? And so once they got to the internet, they started to figure out who was who and what was what, right? And so you started to see a lot of these quote unquote gang members who are supposedly supposed to be, you know, holding some sort of creed, right? Go on to all these different platforms, like I said, Adam 22 and all these other places, right? Selling themselves out, right? Based on what? Based on the fact that, oh yeah, I can make a little money over here and then I could go ahead and sell it out, right? I could do whatever I want to do, right? But in reality, what we're starting to see now is no, you can't just go ahead and try to align yourself with whoever and try to, you know, live off the culture without actually having to, you know, say something about that. And that's why, you feel me, I really did have to, you know, bring this part up about Glasses Malone, because Glasses Malone is out here standing on business for the sister Doechii, right? Doechii's been going back and forth with Aiden Ross for a very long time, right? And this falls right into this subject, right? A lot of Black YouTubers and a lot of these gang members have been going out of their ways, right, to say and do things that do not align with actually looking out for the culture and protecting the culture. They're giving a lot of these guys passes to do very disrespectful things towards people who are part of the culture and in the culture, right? And so I wanted to talk about that because this plays right into that, right? This self-hating facade and cloud that's hanging over the West Coast right now, because there's a lot of people in this space who can and don't, right? Who could say something about the BS that's going on, but they won't because they're trying to align themselves, right? And trying to make themselves seem like, oh, like I can't, you know, I can't cross that line. And some people have to. So salute to Glasses Malone for standing on business, man. Listen to this dude.
Glad you brought that up, Adrian. I'm glad you brought Adriana. Adrian, I'm glad you brought that up. I saw that nigga Aiden talking shit about Doechii. There's no way you gonna think this cool. There's no way you think this gonna be cool.
You can't do that.
You thinking you popping and talking shit about that sister? I'm gonna fuck what she said to that art. You keep calling her names, bro. I swear to God on Olivia, bro. It's going to come to a place where that's like it's permanent.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. You know, Glasses is one of those people. He's one of the biggest voices on the West Coast right now, and what he says holds a lot of weight. And a lot of these, like I said, Black YouTubers and Black content creators, gang members, whatever you want to call them, right here in LA have been selling their souls to be next to these streamers, these DJ Academics and Aiden Rosses, right? And Adam 22s, right? They over there doing whatever they can to make sure that they align with them instead of standing on business when he's talking down on a black artist who had nothing to do with this guy, who never, had anything bad to say about this dude. Yet, you feel me? Y'all over here cackling and laughing like it's all good, right? Not standing for nothing, no backbone, right? And that's why it's like that cloud that is, the most self-hating black Americans in LA. It's because of this behavior. Y'all don't stand on no business. Y'all don't stand up for actually the culture for real, the protection of the culture, the actual art form. Y'all don't care about that. All y'all care about is views and BS, drama. You feel me? Chaos.
You can't take that off. AD let you get away with it the first time. He should have fucked you around and he didn't. Niggas keep letting you get it off because they want to be cool with you.
That's facts. And that's what I'm saying, man. It's a lot of that. It's a lot of that high school energy, right? Where it's like, oh, like the popular kid in school, I want to do whatever I can to align with that dude. But in reality, you're not standing on business for your actual base. And that's why I was like seeing AD and all these other guys, man, go over here and kowtow to a loser who's a straight up nerd. Like, bro, you guys are not doing it how you're supposed to, man. You got to stand on business.
One thing to say, hey, man, you know what? That lady ain't said your name, so you assuming it. You finna start calling her out her name. I'm telling you right now, 7th Street Crit, nigga not going for that. It ain't even got nothing to do with TDE. Eventually, you just a white man talking shit about this system.
Yeah.
That's what it's coming down to. And I'm just keeping it a being with you, bro. I know you fuck with Act. I know you fuck with Flock and a couple niggas. You cannot be no motherfucking white man talking that much shit about that black woman.
And that's what it is, man. A lot of people are just out here playing the game, right? They're out here trying to make it seem like, oh, it's all good. We're just trying to be cool and whatever. Like, it's like, why then? You don't stand for anything. Why even do this, right? Why even try to act like, oh, you care about hip hop, you care about the culture, you care about the betterment of the culture. Meanwhile, you got this dude who's over here talking crazy about one of your own, and you're choosing not to say anything. You're choosing to try to act like, oh, you know what? I'm just gonna back up the homie when you actually could have did something yourself already. That's a fucking problem. Like, you need to get your shit together. A lot of people in this space need to get their shit together because they're not doing what they're supposed to. Straight up. Like, y'all have a platform. Y'all could say something and stand on business, but you're choosing not to. And that's a choice. You feel me? That's a choice. You do not get to walk out on that choice.
That's just not gonna fly, homie. I don't give a fuck what she's saying. I don't give a fuck about what you think is happening. I don't give a fuck if you think that shit dissing you. You're not finna be sitting up there just talking shit about that black woman. On God, bro. And if you keep doing it, I'm gonna start pressing all the niggas around you.
See, and this is what I've been trying to tell people, man. The internet, you feel me? It's not a real place until it is, right? You think that you can come on here and talk into this camera and broadcast out to people saying whatever and thinking that you'll never have any type of repercussions from that. And I'm here to tell you that that's just not how this thing works, okay? There's very, very small community, right? We think that these people are so big, but it's a very small community of people who are actually on the internet, who are making money and, doing their thing. And that small community can get smaller if the right people let people know what's going on. And so it's not that hard for somebody to make a few calls and then bam, you're in the same place at the same time with the person that you were just talking crazy about on stream. That can happen. You know what I'm saying? And so you got to be careful because this is real life, right? And so that's why it's like when he's saying pressing the people around him, it's because there was a lot of people who would just be allowing this to go on. Right? Like I said, like people who will let this guy say crazy things, not only about black people, but black men, have his friends going around saying the N-word to people right in their face, to black people in their face. And that said, black person don't do nothing. Nah, bro, that's liable for me to slap you, and then we can apologize and figure it out after I slapped you. Oh, my bad, bro. I just don't like when people say that. And then we can figure it out afterwards. But what we not going to do is ever let that fly like it's not a problem.
I'm not going to press you because I don't know where you at and I don't know how to get to you. But all the niggas around you, they don't got your money. They don't got none of that shit. Niggas going to start pressing all the niggas. And I'm going to make it my business to make Crips start pressing all the niggas around. All the niggas that's black around you. Every nigga that let you get that off. You're not finna sit there and just be talking about that black lady, bro. That's just not gonna fly like that.
Now, this is where it gets interesting, right? This is where it gets interesting because we know how these people play, right? We know how they play, right? And the play is he threatened me, right? It's going to go there, right? It's going to get really weird because we already know how a lot of them play. So I think, I love what Glasses did because nobody, and I repeat, nobody was really standing on business for Doechii, right? Like Glasses Malone has and Punch has, right? So now that they have set the precedent, right? And like he mentioned, he's going to start pressing people around him, meaning, like I mentioned, they already know who the people are. They already know what's going to happen, who's around, etc., etc. So if you keep playing games, mister, we will smash the gas, right? That's what's coming next. So what will happen? That's the question now, because it's going to get greasy out here.
It's not going to fly like this. One thing, I get what you're saying, but nah, homie, like I saw you doing that other thing where you telling the nigga not to apologize for using the N-word offending black people. Crip gang, like, I don't give a fuck what nobody say. Not Chuck, not nobody. They gonna all have to get down with what I'm saying with every last one of them. Because I'm gonna make it real hard for everybody because we not no suckers and we not no sellouts. So you keep doing all of that shit, that's gonna be a problem. Stop playing with that lady name. Don't call her out her name. Don't be doing all that shit because you're gonna fuck around and you finna say the wrong thing and it's gonna be a problem.
Yeah, and that's just the code. Like the code should always be to protect each other, to make sure we hold each other up in a certain capacity, to make sure that we are not sitting around allowing people to disrespect people in our culture, right? This is the culture that we built. This is ours, right? We started this and created this. It is on us to protect it, gatekeep it, and make sure that those others do not come around here thinking it's okay that they can disrespect Black Americans, all right? Because that's what's been happening. I've been seeing it a lot where you have these people who are going around disrespecting us, right? But they're using those who are cosplaying as us, docile, tap dancing of that ilk, to say, oh, no, it's okay that you can say the N-word. I'm not tripping. I'm just trying to figure out why you said it. No, bro. No, that's not how we do this. All right. There are consequences for everything that you do in life. And there's no idea that I would have that would make that ever seem like it would be okay, because there's no way. Like, you're tripping. Like, there's something wrong with you. Completely.
And everybody who cool with you, I swear to God, on 7th Street Crip, if you see this and you cool with Cuz and you see him doing that, just know we're gonna have a problem. I don't give a fuck if you one of the homies or not. It's gonna be a problem with me and you. And I mean a physical problem. No other way around it. No other way around it. I'm cool with you writing a diss record. That's cool. Diss her. Don't get on that motherfucking thing and think we supposed to let you just keep talking shit about this black lady. No chance.
And that's, it's, like I said, it's very in vogue right now. It's very cool to talk down on Black people, Black Americans, and it's very cool to always try your best to rage bait Black Americans, say the craziest stuff about them because it generates the most views, right? We know that. We know that any topic that's about us that, has involved in us, it will always be the most talked about, right? Always. And so when you look at it from that perspective, you already know then, okay, people are trying to make a play for, you know, us to be, you know, the bad guy, or us to be the topic of discussion, and or to talk down on us. Meanwhile, you're using our culture to prop yourself up, right? Nobody would even know Aiden Ross if it wasn't for Black culture and Black Americans on the internet. All right. Nobody would even know DJ Academics if it wasn't for Black culture and Black Americans. Nobody would even know Adam 22 if it wasn't for Black culture and Black Americans. They have to attach themselves to us and our culture to be relevant, like a leech who has to suck the blood as a parasite to live. Okay, it's very, very symbolic, right? That the movie Sinners came out during this time because there was a lot of vampires among us, right? The symbolism was, hey, just because there are white vampires, there are other ones who look like us, but they've been bitten, right? They are vampires as well, but they just look like us. They want you to be them when they already are wounded, right? They already have been sucked dry of their resources. So why not join us, right? No. Hell no.
No chance, homie. It's no way. No way. And all the homies, bro, nobody doing that. All the Black people around you, it's going to be a problem for them. I'm going to fuck what it got to be at that point. I saw that little shit, and I don't want to get into it because I get it's artistic and she doing her thing, and don't nobody know if she talking about him. Nobody know. But you think you finna sit on that stream? I saw you do that little thing with that Black dude, and that Black dude tried to be cool and tell you, but that Black dude is gonna have a problem. That Black dude is gonna have a problem. You think it's gonna be your problem? Y'all better start checking these motherfucking crackers for saying all this shit about niggas, man. That shit ain't happening. Don't let these people sit up there and publicly talk bad about a sister. Cool, go on the booth, make your songs. That's cool. That's art.
Look, man, that's what I've been trying to tell people. It's getting to that point now. Like, it's getting to the point now where I'm seeing like Black content creators just allowing these white content creators to talk crazy and say crazy things. And that's wild to me. Like, y'all got to get it together. Like, this is not cracking at all. Like, this is actually terrible for the culture. It's terrible for our stature. And we need to get that together, because if we're allowing it to happen, trust me, they're going to come across the wrong content creators or the wrong people who don't stand for that. And then this is what you now get. Okay. 2026, like they said, people are gatekeeping the culture. And I'm 100% about that. It is 100% the gatekeep of 2026. All right. If you ain't aligning with the culture, if you are not aligning with the values, if you're not aligning with the vision and the direction where we're trying to go, away from the BS, respecting one another, you got to get out. Straight up. You got to get out. There's no room for you anymore, dog.
Don't think you finna sit on that stream and just be talking about that Black woman like that. That shit is not happening, bro. That shit whack, Trap.
I ain't see it.
I ain't see it on my stream. I'm not finna go look at your stream. I'm gonna wait till it come back. I'm not looking for no context and nothing. Cool. If you got your records, cool. All that you sit up there on that couch and you sit at that desk and the little bitch. Hold up, bro.
Whoa, you said that?
Crip gang, man. Hold on, bro. We not riding. That's not happening, bro. That's all I gotta say about that. No Ceilings Live, the lunch hour, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Salute to Glasses Malone, man. But that's real, man. You calling sister out of her name, you doing disrespectful things, talking crazy. You gotta go, bro. There's no room for you here. I'm sorry. We cannot allow that type of behavior in the culture. We cannot allow that type of behavior around us, and as well impressioning the youth, right? Imagine a world, right, where we're starting to slowly lose decorum between men and women, right? Where we don't know how to talk to each other anymore, right? We don't need to live in a world like that, because I'm telling you, that isn't civilization. That's savagery. All right. And guess what? We don't come from that. All right? I don't know about them people, but my people, we don't come from that. All right. We actually come from a level of actual class and dignity. All right. Stature. You feel me? Morals. All right. Some level of actual spirituality, a base. You know what I mean? Not this crap that, you know, y'all just think it's okay to call women out of their names and talk crazy to them on the internet, talk crazy to people on the internet, and think that there will not be any repercussions for that. You're living in an alternate universe. Like there's something wrong with you. If you think that you guys can hop on here and talk crazy, right, and not think that there will be somebody who's going to hold you accountable for that. That's what's going to happen. You feel me? And that's the world that we live in. And so you guys got to be more careful about how you're moving on the internet, right? We're talking about how there's a black cloud hanging over LA right now because of the spineless propaganda that we've been seeing over the last couple of years with a lot of these podcasters and influencers. Right? People who represent the West Coast, but they don't stand for nothing. They're going along with whatever BS will get them the most views. They're going along with trying to fit in with everybody else instead of standing on business and doing what they're supposed to do, being original. Right? And so now we're in this space where, yeah, a lot of people are looking at the West Coast sideways because of what? The gang culture that's breeding what? Black on black crime, right? And they're looking at that and they're saying, y'all can't even stick together, right? And what do we have to say for that? How are we working on it? How are we speaking out against it, right? And that's the key now, is like, now that, you feel me, we're building this platform and making sure that we're speaking on the topics that I want to speak on and bringing up things that I find important. So make sure you like and subscribe, all right? But when we're talking about this, it's 100% based in like a real, actual account of what I see on the daily basis, right? And so now that I'm starting to see that and I'm working on, you feel me, building things and doing my part in the community, yeah, I have a certain voice that I want to bring to the table that speaks against the tomfoolery that be going on, man. Ain't nobody got time for that no more, man. The shift has happened. Things have really turned around, right? Things have really been, you know, I think spiritually, we're starting to see now a shift, right? A shift away from what used to be going on to what's happening now. And I couldn't like be more happy to like be a part of this and like making content during this time now, because I already know where this is going. You feel me? And so, you know, I just wanted to hop back on this, the first stream of the year. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to get that underneath our belt. You feel me? Y'all peep the new setup. You know what I'm saying? So salute to everybody. You know, we're going to make sure that we bring in as much as we can. I'm trying to use the mic less in my hand and let it, you know, do its thing. And so, you know, we'll listen back and see how it sounds, all that good stuff. But make sure you guys like and subscribe, man, because we're trying to get to that 1,000 subscribers. Make sure that you like and subscribe. We're already halfway there. So keep staying locked in with your boy so we can make that goal, right? 2026, we back. So thank you all. Pulled up, man. My name's Brandon B. This is Elite Media, and I'm out. Peace.